You're probably thinking that you need to be the alpha in order to attract a woman.
You're a very masculine man.
Which makes sense because biologically, women are attracted to alpha males. This has been happening for so many years, right? Now, there is something that you're missing here. You cannot deceive her into thinking that you are the alpha. You have to be the alpha and then attract her from that place. So if at any moment you think that she's outside of your league, if at any moment you feel not good enough, if at any moment you feel a little bit of anxiety when you're talking to her, which means that your cortisol level have increased and your serotonin have decreased, she will sense that you are pretending to be the alpha and you're not really embodying the masculine polarity that you have within yourself. And that's why this strategy of like, let's be the alpha, let's focus on being this strong masculine kind of guy is not working.
Okay, it's not working out. I'm gonna need the suit back.
Because you're pretending. You're not really embodying it, my brother. And that's because back in the caveman time, women had to detect if a man is deceiving her into being the alpha, because if she would end up with the better male, it meant that she might not have food on her plate, it meant that she might not be protected, so potentially die, and also her children might die too because of lack of protection, lack of shelter, and all of that. You have to remember that back then there were wild animals, the weather was fucking crazy and all of that. So a woman needed an alpha male. So that's why they developed the sixth sense, the intuition, whatever you call it. They had to detect, okay, is this guy actually the alpha? Because I need him to be the alpha for my protection. I'm less strong than him. I need a man. I don't want a better male. So that's why right now, when you pretend to be the alpha, it's not working. Or maybe it's working with drunk Sarah, right? Because she doesn't care, right? Maybe she's a little bit traumatized. Maybe she doesn't feel good enough. And she feels this little validation from a random guy and she's happy. But if you want to attract a feminine woman, a very loving woman, an absolutely beautiful woman, you cannot pretend to be the alpha. You have to be the alpha. Because this kind of women that are extremely attractive and all of that, they have a lot of options. And they will make sure to choose the alpha out of all these options. So if you like all the other guys pretending to be the alpha, you're just like the other guys. Why would she want to have sex with you? Why would she want to even like give you her number? Why would she want to have a relationship? It doesn't make sense for her. And that's why you're still single.
I was engaged once, but I'm single now.
That's why you're feeling lonely. That's why you're feeling frustrated. And then you go on YouTube and you try to see like, oh, what are the qualities of the alpha male? Let me focus on the qualities of the alpha male. Brother, this is pretending. You think fake it till you make it is going to work? You've tried so far. Has it worked? No, it hasn't worked. So why are you fucking continuing to fake it till you make it? It's not working. You have to change the strategy.
What's the next strategy gonna be?
This is what my client has experienced in my mentoring not a long time ago. He has been focusing on being the alpha, on being strong, on being masculine and all of that. And he had some results here and there, but not like the proper results that he wanted. And when we started to do the internal work, to actually dive into this voice that is telling him that he has to be strong and all of that, he discovered something that was extremely interesting. And I want you to pay attention to what I'm going to say here. This voice that is telling you to be the alpha, telling you to be strong, telling you to be masculine, telling you to be so powerful. What if this voice has a story to tell you? What if this voice is trying to protect you in some ways? Because when you start to do the internal work, you start to realize that you have different parts of yourself, right? There is a part of you that wants to be so strong, so powerful, so masculine, but there is maybe another part of you that is a bit more loving, right? That is a little bit more soft. Maybe there is a part of you that is like, fuck my emotions, right? I want to avoid all of this shit and I want to focus on business. Maybe you have a voice telling you, let's go to the fucking gym. We need to be the strongest motherfucker here, right? You have different voices and there is one telling you to be the alpha. What if you could talk to that voice? And what if you could get to know this voice to such an extent that you understand why it is trying to focus on being the alpha? What my client ended up realizing is that this voice that was telling him to focus on being the alpha, strong and all of that, was trying to protect him from being hurt again. Because back then, when he was a child, he was being bullied. His mother was treating him very poorly, right? And at one point, it was so painful that he had to toughen up, that he had to be fucking strong. He had no choice. It was a question of survival. It was a question of fucking survival. Now, if you're a child who's 10 years old, you don't want to toughen up. You don't want to be strong and masculine. You're 10 years old. At 10 years old, you're supposed to be 10 years old. You're supposed to be a child. You're not supposed to toughen up. Ask any 10 years old child and you will see that they don't want to toughen up. This is the reality. But because life is such that sometimes you end up in circumstances that are just not cool, right? Sometimes very painful. Sometimes you're forced to toughen up. And that's why you develop these shadows, because focusing on being the alpha, focusing on being strong, focusing on being so powerful can be a shadow. If you're avoiding to be rejected, if you're avoiding the pain of being rejected, if you're avoiding to be lonely, and I could go on, right? You can only be alpha if it comes from within without trying to avoid anything. Because there is the alpha within yourself. It's there. But if you try to avoid these different voices telling you that you don't want to be rejected by this woman, you don't like rejection, right? You feel that this woman is outside of your league. You're feeling the anxiety when you're about to meet a woman or when you're about to have a date. These things have things to tell you, my brother. These voices have things to tell you. And you have to get in touch with these parts of yourself. This is the real work, my brother. You have to stop avoiding by focusing on being the alpha, by learning technical game or routines or pickup lines, and you actually have to start healing these aspects of yourself that are wounded. And only then you will emerge as truly confident, truly masculine, truly the alpha. This is the real work that I teach in my mentoring. It's not easy. It's simple to understand, but it's not easy, right? Because it's a little bit uncomfortable to get in touch with that voice that is telling you that you're not good enough. That's fucking painful to hear that. It's tough also to get in touch with that voice that is telling you, I don't want to be rejected again. I'm so tired of rejection. Yeah, that's fucking painful too, right? It's not easy. But this is what allows you to go from being a little boy, hiding with the mask of the alpha, to truly being the man. And this will actually help you attract your ideal woman who's feminine, loving, radiant, faithful to you. Not a lot of men are actually embodying that, but those that embody this, it's actually happening. They have the capacity to attract a long-term relationship that is going to be fulfilling.
How do you feel? I feel good.
This is possible. If you want to receive a free course on how to attract one date opportunity every week, you can click on the link down below. I'm sharing my entire framework that I teach to my clients as well. You have it for free and you can actually try this out to see if this is working. because it's one thing to hear me on this video telling you how things should be, but I want you to try out what I'm actually teaching, right? So that you can see for yourself if this is working or not. Thank you for watching. I see you, my brother.